Hey everyone, this is Dallas Hurd, your ORP chair, and it is Monday, May 17th, about 6 o'clock in the evening. Just got back from Salem a little bit ago for the day during the legislative session. It's been a while since I've been able to do one of these videos and reach out to you. The last month or so has had a lot of trials along the way. Got sick with COVID, never had a confirmed test, but definitely had, I don't know, it seems like about a dozen symptoms. I got over that a couple weeks ago, but it's, like a lot of you that have experienced it, it just kind of seems to drag on. For me, mental fog, kind of a vertigo effect, really dizzy, super tired late in the day. It's not fun, but definitely back on my feet, and very thankful that all the members of my immediate family that came down with it survived it just fine and got through it, and we're all on the mend, and looking forward to hanging out with you in the near future. Let's see, some stuff that's happened since we last talked. For the month of April, we raised approximately $48,000 for your ORP state organization, and that's a mixture of money that's gone into the state PAC and the federal PAC. So for the state PAC, we received a $35,000 check from a generous individual who had previously not contributed to the party in the past, and deposited that check back in the month of April. We also secured over the phone a $5,000 contribution in the last week of April that didn't come in until I believe it was last week, where it was documented and then deposited into the checking account. So $40,000 just off those two checks alone for the state PAC, and then also approximately $8,000 in small dollar donations for the federal PAC, and that's coming from a mixture of mail and primarily digital fundraising efforts that we have implemented over the last few months here. So moving in a good direction. I fear that the month of May could be a pretty big fall off just because of the sickness that I had really bogging me down and killing my stamina. But frankly, just to be honest with you, the efforts to sabotage our administration by people within the party from certain parts of the state, no geographic specific location, just pockets here and there, but folks that really sadly just kind of seem to have no other focus in life than making sure they're in control of this volunteer organization. And it's really been a burden on my heart dealing with this for the 3 months that I've been your chair. It's just almost every single day there's some new form of attack, whether it's social media or emails that we receive, or just folks directly trying to undermine the efforts we're doing in your name and for all of our good, I thought. So the good news is the vast majority of our PCPs and delegates and folks across the state, in my opinion, are just incredible men and women that have the same goals as I do: defend the Constitution, promote freedom, promote the party, grow this movement of pushback and freedom against the overreaching, scary radical left that is housed in the Democratic Party. The communist movement it's here, and it's, for anybody who's paying attention at all, it's quite obvious. So I'm hoping that something is going to turn this mess around at some point in the near future, where people who just seemingly want to attack and undermine and make it all about themselves either have a change of heart, which would be preferable, or decide there's just some other place that they can go to attack people. I really hate talking about this to you, but frankly, I've kept silent on it long enough. There's plenty of proof to show the absolute just vicious hostility, toxic, corrosive nature of this group of a couple, 2-3 dozen people within our Republican family across the state. And so I just appreciate your prayers and your thoughts and your help to move the party forward in a positive direction. We've been getting a lot of great stuff done, cleaning up a lot of disorganization that we inherited, and just putting the pieces in place to make sure that not only we are successful for you and that you are successful going forward, but that whoever inherits the ORP organization in the future really receives a ready-to-go package. And so thank you to all the men and women that have been instrumental in that, and just helping me and others really bring us into a new era. So a thousand thank yous to you. One more bit of not so fun information or topic to discuss is Senate Bill 865, which was brought forward by both Democrats and Republicans, sadly, in the legislature. Also, it's been claimed that party folks from different counties in different parts of the state requested it. Doesn't really matter who brought this forward, whose idea it was. The bill, simply put, seeks to overthrow the will of the people, whether it be in the Senate districts that Senator Dennis Linthicum and I currently are representing, or you, the ORP family who voted overwhelmingly in favor of this administration. It seeks to overthrow those elections by making it a finable offense to be both a state legislator or state office holder, while at the same time being a member, amazingly so, of a private political organization, in this case the Republican Party of Oregon, or the Democratic Parties of Oregon, or the Independent Party organizations, any of those political private organizations. It would, and I've been given multiple legal opinions that it would affect PCPs, not just the state leadership level of your political party. So it's just amazing where we find ourselves at the moment, that there are men and women out there conspiring to take it upon themselves to make these decisions for us, the voting public of Oregon, whether whether it's for the government or for a private political organization. This bill seeks to do things that I just never thought I would actually see in my lifetime as an American or an Oregonian. To me, it's as anti-constitution and un-American as it gets. When elitists in Salem take it upon themselves to make decisions for you, the voters, for us, the voters, before we even get a chance to look at who we would like to possibly represent us, whether at the governmental level or at our private political party level, it really says something about where we're at as a society. And I'm not going to let it defeat me. I hope you won't let it defeat you, regardless of what happens with this bill. I do hope you'll speak up and step out there against this kind of radical force of hand by the elitists in our society. The working class men and women like you and myself must not let this kind of attack on our freedom, on democracy, on the Constitution stand. We always need to maintain total authority in our lives as voters and as citizens to be able to run for any position we want to, whether government or public, and be able to actually have the full menu of choices as voters on who that person shall be to represent us going forward. Otherwise, frankly, what's the point of the vote? This is very similar type action of what we've all accused the Democrats of doing on a national scale with last year's elections. So this goes back to when I was on the campaign trail talking about how we need to be the party of honesty, transparency, and integrity. And this is not the way. So regardless of how it affects me, I want people to really think about what this sets as a precedent going forward. It's not true that there are several states out there that have done similar things like this. I haven't talked to an attorney yet that has reached out to us about this particular bill that has said that it is anything other than completely unconstitutional under the First Amendment, under freedom of association, which has established case law over the decades. So freedom of association is just a critical aspect of our representative republic and our constitutional way of life. So anyway, again, really would love to have your prayers that good will prevail, that the people will maintain the full power of their vote and their rights to run and serve in elected positions, whether government or private. Next thing would be, there's been several calls for unity by a lot of folks across the state. That sounds great, but you actually have to be invested in it. Otherwise, it's just insulting to those of us who really want to fight for freedom, fight for our children's future. So yes, I would call for unity too, but we have to be united under something. And for me, that's the Constitution. I've been voting no in my legislative position this entire session strictly because you, the people of Oregon, have been expelled from your own Capitol building. I really don't know what to say to folks who have criticism for me over that. I really feel like it comes from either a place of complete bias or complete ignorance. Because the fact of the matter is, every person that is currently working in that building, whether elected or unelected, that wants to be vaccinated has been, and yet the building, your Capitol building, is still completely closed off to the public. These the stuff that's been put out there by the Democrats primarily saying, well, the people have full access through phone calls or digital services like Microsoft Teams. It's just not the truth. I talk to lobbyists, I talk to citizens, I talk to legislators all day long that talk about the problems we've had with the digital meeting system, the phone calls and whatnot. There's just not full access like the Democrats say there is. And this is where tyranny grows. It loves closed door, disconnected abilities or environments where they can push through law that threatens the very freedoms that we just all love and hold dear to our hearts. And so we need to be holding each other and everyone accountable that is willing to continue to put up with this abomination. It's not nonsense. It's an abomination that we the people of Oregon, are no longer welcome in our own Capitol building, that it's not considered essential services or essential industry. It is the most essential. The laws that will govern our future, nothing could be more essential. And at this point, like I said, with everybody that wants to be vaccinated being such, what is the excuse now for why you are still on the outside looking in as the Constitution and your fundamental liberties are being melted to the ground? So that's why I'm voting no on everything. You have to stand on principle for something. And if the Constitution and the people of Oregon not being allowed in their own capital during a time of legislation that is guaranteed through the Oregon Constitution is not that hill to stand on, I really don't know what is. And so I'm unashamed and unapologetic about that, and I would appreciate Republicans who are out there using the Democratic Party's attack lines on me to cease. And let's stand for the people, let's stand for the Constitution, because our freedom is depending on it, and our future is depending on it. Moving on, moving on to some more pleasant stuff. We have school board elections coming up. Tomorrow is the final day for that election cycle, so please get your ballots in and let's make sure we turn around our school districts. This was something I wanted to put a lot more focus in over the last month, but sadly with just primarily, frankly, the vicious non-ending attacks and attempts to undermine our administration's work, it's just made it very difficult to focus on the matter at hand, which is our school boards and our school districts. Our children need us to step up. This is not the last step or the middle step. This is only the beginning of what we need to be doing every single election cycle when our school board positions are up. We need to be recruiting more and better candidates cycle after cycle. We need to be improving our craft of getting the word out to the voting public. School board elections are interesting because they see typically a very, very low percentage of turnout across the voting public. And so it's an opportunity for us Republicans and registered voters that are conservative and believe in God-fearing, freedom-based constitutional principles to actually get some wins that otherwise would be very expensive and nearly impossible for us to achieve. And so I really want you to step up and make sure that you've not only turned your ballot in, but that your neighbors and your immediate family and friends, that they've turned theirs in too, and that you're educated on who is the actual right choice that is the more conservative-leaning candidate for our school boards, because it's just a critical aspect of the future. Without winning back the education system, we're really just kicking the can down the road that's going to end up in tragedy. We're seeing it all around us. When we allow our children to be lied to, deceived, and frankly just completely stolen away from us, the end result can only be total loss. No amount of data, fundraising, advertisements, door knocking, premium candidates, none of that can overcome a society that's completely been given over to a communistic thought process and just a godless nature. So please step up and save our children along with me. Since I last reached out to you, I had to sneeze, but it didn't come there. Since I last reached out to you, I have since gone to the RNC National Convention in Dallas, Texas, and that was a wonderful experience. Got to meet a lot of great people. Got to listen to our amazing national chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel. I gotta be honest, folks, if you haven't listened to the good chairwoman, you're missing out. That is an inspiring leader. I've met a lot of people in this life, a lot of people that you would know the names of, whether they're the ultra rich or the ultra powerful in the elected sense. And I don't know if I've met someone more impressive in person or got to listen to someone in person more impressive than Chairwoman McDaniel. She means business and she knows what she's doing. And we should follow her with passion and do whatever it takes to help her be successful, because her success is our success. I had the blessed opportunity to meet with her with some of the other first-time state chairs from across the country in a small meet and greet, little luncheon or dinner, if you want to call it that. And I just asked her, I said, what can we do to help you be more successful? Obviously, we were there to research what opportunities are available for us here in Oregon for the RNC to help us, whether it be human resources, grant funding, different data, training, whatnot. But people like Chairwoman McDaniel, as you can imagine, constantly have people pulling at her, constantly asking her for things, and I just wanted to make sure we put our best foot forward by letting the good chairwoman know that we're here just as much to help her as much as we are expecting them to help us. And so I know she appreciated that question, and it was just a great time getting to know a lot of those great men and women that are representing states like Colorado. The chairwoman from Colorado was an impressive individual. She is a few years younger than me. She's an attorney. She's been married and has a family for over a decade now. She's a go-getter. I really enjoyed talking with her. The good chairman from West Virginia, really great guy, pastor, very passionate, very level-headed, just a great individual as well. So it was nice meeting with those folks. Also the chair from Alabama, nice man. So yeah, it was a great experience. And some of the good stuff that we brought back was opportunities from the RNC to pursue up to $250,000 in grant money from the RNC to get us some seed money to help us get off the ground with all the programs we're going to be implementing over the year and next year and going forward. And so that's going to be a continued opportunity through the GROW program to, as the name states, grow our party's reach and influence and help us to become not only a fighter here for our state, house, and Senate races, but also our national races so that we can start contributing to the national scene. Because let me tell you, if you want to see the fire hydrant or the faucet turn on of cash flow in our state from national resources, whether it be the party or individuals or other groups across this nation, we need to actually be able to step up and present a real case that we could actually contribute electoral college votes to the next presidential election in 2024, whether that's President Trump or someone else like Governor DeSantis or someone of that caliber who represents the Republican ticket for president in 2024. So just really excited about that kind of stuff. Had a great interview and conversation with Mr. Lars Larson last Friday of this last week here. So we'll be clipping that audio and putting it out to the ORP family as well as on my Facebook page at Dallas Heard at Facebook soon. Whether tonight or tomorrow, it'll be out there soon. And hope to be probably talking with Lars maybe on a weekly basis for the time being. He's been gracious enough to allow me to come on when I feel like I really have something to say or just want to be able to have a conversation with him. So really looking forward to those future interviews. There's few people in this world that intimidate me anymore. I don't know if that's because I'm just getting old and tired and I just don't care. But when it comes to talking with people, I've just been through it so many times. But I think it's mostly because, you know, the man is very sharp and really knows his stuff. And he's a force of nature. So I really, you know, even though it's a bit of an intimidating encounter, every time I go into Lars, I always walk away from it feeling better about things in the sense that, you know, it's good to stretch yourself. It's good to face your fears. So always enjoy talking with Lars. Some fun stuff that we're going to be bringing to you on June 5th at our meeting in Florence for our statewide convention there is Mr. Alex Scarlatos, Northwest Oregon's favorite son. He's our military hero from the Paris train attacks that Clint Eastwood made a movie about. Him and his brothers from the military who stopped that terrorist attack many years ago. He's ran for the DeFazio Congressional District last year and just about took out the congressman who's been, DeFazio has been my congressman since I was 1 year old, and it is time to move on. And I hope Alec is the Republican that can do it. I really do believe he is. I think he gives us a great chance, but obviously there's still a primary yet to be ran, and so he's recently announced, so I know he's made his intentions clear on what he's planning to do for this next election cycle, and obviously the door is open for other men and women to sign up and run for the Republican ticket, and our job is to just make sure that whoever emerges from that primary has all the resources possible from a local level, door knocking, data, just whatever it is, sign locations, right? We need to be ramping it up to be ready to help them win. But Alec has been gracious enough to come to our convention on June 5th at Florence and be one of our guest speakers. So that'll be really great to have him there, to be all around all of us. So take advantage of that opportunity to get to know him. He's a great young man, exceptionally humble for an individual who just kind of got tossed into the limelight. That's always really shocked me, how humble the young man has stayed, and so good for him. Let's see, kind of wrapping things up here. Committees. We have the Fundraising Committee, traditional fundraising, as well as depreciated items, real assets, equipment, couches, TVs, whatever. I need you men and women across the state to reach out to my email and let me know that you're going to step up and help me with that. I'm also willing to come up with agreements for the local counties. If you want to get me involved or get me in front of your local donor groups of people, individuals, and so on and so forth to help us raise funds for the ORP, I'm more than happy to help you raise money for your local county chapters too. So this is a family effort. We're here to help each other. But I really need men and women to start stepping up and emailing us saying, yeah, I want to be on that committee. I want to help head that committee. I want to get involved. Also, we have the Election Integrity Committee that's already working. We have the statewide sign location committee that we need to get filled. We have needs for tech experts who have the background, skills, and passion to help us with our website design and content team, who's already been doing a lot of great things. If you haven't looked at the website recently, it's much upgraded in my opinion and much more user-friendly and much more complete. You can see who everybody is. There's donate options there. We're just, and by all means, submit suggestions for things that you think need to be up there that may not be yet, just so we can have a better understanding of what holes we may have in our platform there. But would love to have folks reach out and help with that effort. We've already got a great team there, but the more the merrier. Also looking for a press secretary still, so please submit your resume or letter of interest. All those committees and those positions I just referenced, you can send your information to dallas.herd@Oregon.GOP. So that's Dallas, DALLAS .herd, HEARD @Oregon.GOP. So that pretty much wraps it up for this video, giving you an update. I hope to get more of these out to you on a frequent basis. We need to be talking. I've been really taken back by the full-blown organized effort to destroy my reputation and my character over the last several months by a lot of different groups. It's not just the Democrats, folks. It's not just the media, although they are definitely leading the charge. They lie about who they fear. And I don't really take it personal. I feel like I represent the working class men and women of this state who are disenfranchised, who have been put down and beat down for so many years, and we're just really tired of watching everything we love just go by the wayside. I'm here to represent you. I'm here to fight for you. I know what it's like to get kicked in the side daily. I know what it's like to be told you're not good enough. I know what it's like to feel hopeless. I can still feel that way sometimes, but I'll commit to you this, that there's really no amount of hatred or lies or force that can push me to quit on you and to quit on this position of service. And so that's a commitment to you, the good people out there that want what is right and are willing to do whatever it takes to bring it about. And it's also a commitment to you folks out there who are doing these things. So I'm not going to bite on the nastiness. We are going to serve, and we're going to stand for principles that we can all be proud of. And if you're not on board with that, I hope you'll have a change of heart. Otherwise, I hope you'll find a different place to invest this division, because it's not welcome here. So again, love you guys. Thinking about you all the time. I would appreciate your prayers, and I'd appreciate your investment, because I'm just one guy, but together we can really do something powerful, and the time is now. So God bless, and you take care.